Good evening, everyone. It's our Monday Zoom chat. This week we're doing essential oils in the garden. And I hope you find something useful out of this. If you want to change the world, you must empower people, and education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, in the words of Nelson Mandela. And that's our goal here, is to help educate you on the use of essential oils, amongst other things. Ants. I found there were so many cool things about ants. I just had to share a few of them. Ants are capable of carrying objects 50 times their own body weight. Now here is one that actually is interesting for you to note in the garden. Ants will protect aphids so that they can, in exchange for food. So when you find an influx of aphids in your garden, chances are you're going to have to reduce that ant population as well, because they are protecting them from the natural predators. Ants sometimes herd or tend insects of other species like aphids. There you go. I did not know that ants would enslave other ants. That was pretty interesting to me. And I knew that they followed scent trails. But I just wanted to share that with you, especially about the aphids, because that's always a big problem in the garden. Peppermint and spearmint for ants. Also great for caterpillars, fleas, flies, gnats, moths, plant lice, and spiders. I use peppermint for ants a lot. It's just a really great tool. Felissa, you can put On Guard in your peppermint and it kills the ants, right?
Yes, I got frustrated with ants, and to be honest, the peppermint wasn't working at the time. I just had too many ants, and I sprayed On Guard on them and it killed them. So I've now added that to my normal spray. Peppermint, and peppermint's wonderful for other insects too. I think on a small basis it keeps it away, but I had an infestation of ants at that point, and I just wanted them gone, so I put On Guard and it killed them.
Yeah, I'm sure spearmint works just as well. A lot of people use it, but I have such great luck with the peppermint and with Felissa's information about the On Guard that I haven't really ever tried the spearmint, but I use the peppermint a lot. TerraShield, my absolute favorite, as far as I can use TerraShield just by itself. I will actually put about 50 drops in a 8-ounce bottle with 2 teaspoons of witch hazel and fill the rest with water, and I spray myself down before I go out in the woods, and I really never have a problem with fleas, ticks, what are those nasty little red things, chiggers. I never have a problem. Some people like to add others to it. Felissa, I believe you end up adding extra lemongrass and something else.
Yes, lemongrass, cedarwood, and a little extra peppermint, and that seems to help me and the dogs. I'm an attractor of any kind of flying or crawling type insect. So yeah, that helps tremendously.
Interestingly enough, if you look TerraShield blend up in the emotion book, it also helps repel negative people. So that's something to keep in mind too. You might want to wear it as a perfume in a crowded situation, and it does smell pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, aphids, you can use cedarwood or peppermint, and spearmint, of course. The cedarwood, I do have a lot of luck with after I have controlled my ant population. That's pretty interesting. Thyme for beetles. So I used to try peppermint getting rid of a lot of the little beetles that we got, especially on the squash bugs and things like that. But I am going to use thyme this year. I have a feeling it's going to work really well. Here's a great little list for you. We can get it printed out. Okay, so ants, peppermint and spearmint, aphids, cedarwood, spearmint and peppermint, fleas, peppermint, lavender, and lemongrass. Now, I use the Terra Shield for my dogs to control the fleas. I just give them a spray before they go outside during the summertime, and it works pretty good. But I live out in the country where we don't have any super bugs. They haven't been urbanized and gotten used to a lot of things. Felissa, you add several things for your flea control.
Yes. I add the cedarwood and lemongrass, additional cedarwood, lemongrass, and peppermint. And we seem to have a great success on that. But we're also getting our fleas under control. So I have not had as many problems. Well, this year might be different because we didn't really have a winter. So
yeah, we did not have a winter here either. So I'm quite interested in watching. I have also, I don't know if you do, Felissa, but this time of year, I tend to sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder on my dog's food.
Yes.
To help with that as well.
Yes, and they love it. They love the garlic.
They do, as long as we don't get carried away anyway. I do have one dog. If I get too much garlic on her food, she will not eat it. That's pretty unusual. Patchouli for gnats. I would not have thought patchouli for gnats, but apparently it works pretty good. Lice, cedarwood, peppermint, and rosemary. That goes. Rosemary is actually one of them that I will use in the greenhouse just as a deterrent for all sorts. It just seems to, rosemary and basil seem to keep the pests away. So a lot of times I'll just combine that spray. So I'm not worrying about how strong my oils are. I'll use those just to keep them from even coming in. Mosquitoes, lavender and lemongrass. There you've got your lemongrass is that citrus type scent, which is really great for keeping mosquitoes at bay. Which is another good reason to add a couple more drops to your Terra Shield. I like to spray around my screen doors during the spring, during the warm months, and that tends to keep bugs out as well. Moths, peppermint, spearmint, cedarwood. I do have a lot of luck. Of course, I do keep cedar planks in my pantry. But here lately, about once a month, I'll go in and put a couple drops of cedarwood on those planks to help keep the moths out of stuff. You can also put a couple drops in your closet as well. Works really well. I don't use the peppermint and spearmint as often because I have a lot of luck with the cedarwood. How about you, Felissa?
Yeah, I do like the cedarwood, but then I tend to use the Terra Shield mixture almost on everything. So I'm not sure exactly which one is working better. The Terra Shield, cedarwood, and lemongrass, everything gets sprayed. We do, the dogs do, the screen door, Yeah.
Yep. Slugs, the pine and the cedarwood. I have not had a problem with slugs or snails, but I am definitely going to keep this in mind this year. This will be the first year I've got the greenhouse going. And so I'm sure I'm going to have at least one batch of them. I'm excited to try those. And spiders with the peppermint and spearmint again. Really, peppermint is an all-round handy oil. How much is it a bottle, Felissa?
I think it's 21.
Yeah, at $21 a bottle. I can actually make enough to go around the entire outside of my house once a month and still be cheaper than any insecticides I could get and a lot less toxic.
Yeah.
Peppermint,
$20.50. So yeah, $21.
yeah.
That's wholesale.
And when you stop and consider the toxic chemicals that you pay so much for in the store, it actually saves me money to use the peppermint. And I don't have to worry about toxins. So it's really awesome.
You don't have to worry about your cats or your dogs or anybody licking it, as animals will do, because it won't hurt them.
Yeah. And I've got chickens. I mean, if you use any type of granule out here, the chickens will eat it. So I have to be very, very careful about what I use in the yard. And so that peppermint, it just works really well. It's not necessarily, we're supposed to be talking about the garden, but I actually put a drop of oregano every 2 or 3 days in my chicken water to keep the mites from, to keep the mites away from my chickens as well. These things are awesome for just everything. Weevils, sandalwood, cedarwood, patchouli, again, that's gonna help you out, keeping that the cedarwood planks in your pantry and issues like that. But yeah, the cedarwood and patchouli, again, quite interesting. Sandalwood, sandalwood sounds really great, but I am a bit chintzy, and I would not. I save my sandalwood for me.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an investment oil. So yeah, same here. But patchouli is the surprise of this list, that I haven't tried patchouli, and I would love to try it. I love the scent of it. So
yeah. I mean, it's I'm quite interested. My husband loves it, and he actually uses it as a cologne, and it really does. It just smells marvelous on him. But I'm quite interested in actually testing it with a bottle to see if it keeps the gnats and stuff gone. That's really interesting. And patchouli would smell good in the pantry along with the cedarwood.
Yeah. You spend even more time in the greenhouse thing.
Oh yeah, no kidding. It's already wonderful. We love coming out here in the morning and figuring out what we can do through the day, indoors and out. But the greenhouse is just awesome first thing in the morning. All right, next week we're going to do 10 little oils that can change your life. We're going to be covering the family wellness. I almost said the old name for it, so
yeah. I have to think twice also.
We're going to be covering the family wellness kit. It's an awesome little kit, and we're going to talk about several ways to offer it, and kind of go into an explanation about how powerful each of those 10 little oils are. So real quick, okay, let me go through this because I have something to show you. Life's Passions, Wednesday, April 5th at 8 p.m. We're doing in April, we're doing on Wednesday nights, we're doing pets and essential oils and other healthy, we are just covering everything we can do for the health of our pets on Wednesdays. Most of it's essential oils, and some of it goes in a slightly different direction. So we'd love to see you next Wednesday. The love of a single heart can change the world, and we are changing the world one drop, one person, one community at a time. And you can reach us at Felissa-doTerra@outlook.com. and Robin at the Old Mason Homestead, or you can find us on Facebook, Felissa at CHOOSE-HEALTH.us, or Robin at Inspiring Solutions Together. All right, I am going to end this. And I wanted to show.
Did you want to continue recording?
Are you done?
No, that's okay.
Did you turn
No.
it off?
Nope. I was about to, but you keep going. We're good.
There we go. I use for my recipes, I actually use a little 8-ounce bottle with a little spray trigger. I always use glass because especially for the pests, in the strength that I load essential oils in it, it'll do some damage to most plastic bottles. So you can see where I had the water, and I just added a little bit of witch hazel, and then I would add my oils to that. So it's not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to mix it strong. Some people will use half witch hazel and half water, but I tend to spray my plants, and I want it to evaporate very quickly off of my plants. And so I would probably, in this, I would do 50 drops per strength. And then if I chose to, I would add some peppermint as well.
And the witch hazel is more for a surfactant, so it's not an exact, you don't have to do exactly 2 teaspoons or tablespoons, but just some.
Right. The witch hazel, what it does is it actually helps the essential oil blend in with the water.
And stay suspended in it. So, yeah.
And so, voila. Now we have TerraShield water that we can spray on our dogs and our plants and anything else we so choose, ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people will dilute the TerraShield with fractionated coconut oil and use it as a rub on their skin before they go out and outdoors. But I have a tendency to use the water. Felissa, you sometimes will put it in oil as a lotion.
Well, if I use it from, like the spray bottle they have and the regular bottle, there's already fractionated coconut oil in it.
Okay.
So that's what I use as a rub in one spray. The 30 milliliter spray is not diluted. And I use that just one spray on each arm, each leg. But for the dogs, and when we spray our clothes to go out in the back, in the trees and stuff in the woods, I'll put water because it absorbs then into your clothes. And the dogs, I don't need them greasier than they are. But if they have a hot spot, I have taken it undiluted with the fractionated coconut oil and put some on a hot spot, and it calms that down too. It depends upon what the hot spot's from. You never know.
Yeah.
And there is even lavender. I think there's lavender in the TerraShield too, because or I put lavender depending upon what I get a hold of first.
Well, let's just see here.
I think there is.
Wild orange. There's a lot of yummy stuff in the TerraShield. Oh, looky there. There's already sandalwood in it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no.
No? Okay. It sometimes it works, and sometimes I add some more lavender for a hot spot, but depending upon what time of the year and what's going on.
That's interesting. I may have to start, because I have one dog that gets little itchy spots, so I may have to start adding some lavender for her. All right. Well, this was a great class. And we will see you guys next Monday. Hope you enjoy the recording.
Oh, real quick before you leave, why don't you give them a quick tour of your greenhouse, since we're talking about gardening? Are you
Sure.
are you
Let's see.
available?
I'm actually not on mobile. Let me see if I can do this. Oh. All right. Let's see if we can see here.
Ooh, neat. See the strawberries?
Okay. Yeah, those are my strawberry towers. I am not sure I'm actually going to leave the strawberries in towers. I may move that over to a different type of bed, because the towers aren't working as well for the strawberries as I would hope when you consider these as compared to, can you see that? Those in the
Yeah,
bed,
they like that.
they like the bed really well. And so this is an aquaponics system. And you can see that my chives and my oregano are just absolutely loving. And Felissa, you got to taste my oregano.
Yes, yes,
Surprisingly
ma'am.
enough, there is nothing mild about this oregano in an aquaponic system.
It was surprisingly, very surprisingly, very hot, very, very potent.
Mm-hmm. And right here, can you see this? This is what happens when you take your leftover celery stalk after you've used it in the kitchen and you put it in the ground. It doesn't take long at all to get more celery. So there's just all sorts of fun things you can do with the garden or the greenhouse. How was that?
Thank you. That was wonderful.
Yep, it's pretty darn exciting out here. I actually am growing crappie in the aquaponics system, and so far so good. We're having a lot of luck with it. And I always grab me a piece of oregano as I walk by.
You're
like
used to the bite.
Cinnamon drop for me.
You're used to the bite of it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy the bite of it.
Well, you probably didn't take as much as I did either. I didn't expect it. I took a pretty good mouthful. But yes, thank you. And till next week, which we'll have more fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
we always do.
Okay, so I'm going to end.
Okay.